Live in session here on Six Music with Sky. 2 more numbers to come, and thanks a million for dropping by. How are you doing?
No problem. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
Would you like to introduce the rest of the band, please?
I would love to, because last time I did this, I forgot Ben's name.
Okay.
Ben!
Hi everyone.
Okay, so on lead guitar and vocals is Benjamin Spike Saunders, everyone.
Hey, Ben. Hello.
Hi.
And on drums and vocals is Robbie Kessel.
Hello.
Hello, Robbie.
On bass and vocals is Tom Gold.
Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Yes, and me.
Then you're all welcome as well. And you, thanks for doing this show as well, because this session, because you just finished your tour just over a week ago. How did it go?
It went very well. I'm very pleased with how it went. The second week, we all got a bit lurgy struck, but we managed to push through. And yeah, all the shows were wonderful.
What does a band do when lurgy is lurking? Is it vocal zone a go-go? Or
it's like is in vocal zones, you mean? Or,
yes.
Yes. Well, obviously we love vocal zones, and lots of have one of those steamer things that's very good, and lots of tea, and then a good whiskey and ginger ale before show is always helpful as well.
Absolute troopers. And this has been an opportunity, as you're doing tonight. You're playing 4 songs from the new album from Someday Now, and playing those songs live as well. And it's a great record. Well done on this LP. It's a fantastic piece of work. Can you sum up where you were at when it came to making this record, and what changed for this one? Not the others weren't great, but you know what I mean. This time around.
I think it's one of those things where I think the more you're doing something like music and writing, and the older you get, the more assured you are in your choices, and I guess as yourself as a person of what you're trying to make. And I think, when you are 18 and starting out, it's very hard to find a kind of trueness in what you're doing, because there's so much going on in your head anyway. So I think as you get older and you experience more in what you do, I think you become more assured. And then I think just meeting the right people, feeling like you just feel more confident with who you want to work with. And I think you do, as you practice the muscle and you write, you get better at it.
Speaking of working with others on the record as well, teaming up with Bullion, Nathan Jenkins. It's a rare thing to find somebody who appears to be, from what I've read about you talking about him, as on your musical wavelength as he is.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was wonderful to find someone where, we do come from quite different sides of the Sonics, where, he's a lot more electronic, but I think we came together and we had a lot of shared musical references, like operating theatre and Anna Domino, broadcast. So yeah, it was great to be like, oh, I'm thinking about this sound, and then he'd go, oh, like in broadcast, and I go, yes. So it's always a real great thing when you're not having to just like bang your head against the wall with someone and try and get them to understand your vision. So yeah, it was a pleasure. When
it comes to making a record as well and recording, many musicians play records in the studio as part of that process, and those records are not necessarily anything like what you're trying to achieve. So I think you've name checked, broadcast, Tiny Buttons in particular, and what else? Loser by Beck as well.
Oh yeah, that was a song that was on rotation a lot. Yeah, that song, I think, I did a big old read up about Beck and where that song came from. And, the time that he was making that kind of music, we weren't as spoiled as we are now with the things we had to offer to make these kind of tracks. So, yeah, I think that's such a a bit of creativity, that song.
Yeah. And also, I was reading that you were searching for a particular drum sound. We call it the Kate Bush drum sound.
Yes.
From one particular song as well.
Yes.
Which song is it from?
It's from Watching You Without Me.
Okay. So how do you go about trying to find that sound?
Oh, my Lord. So it was, we had Joe, who engineered the record, he had this Nagra tape recorder. So we basically made our own samples on the tape machine in the studio. But it was quite a complicated process. And obviously I was very wary of, I wanted to, take inspiration from that song, but I really didn't want to get myself in the firing line. No. But yeah, we had to be quite creative with it. And also I think it was exciting because we were in Rockfield in a studio that was, very old and then Nathan was coming from a lot more of a modern sonic place. So it was quite fun to watch him looking at Joe being like, what? We'd be making these samples from scratch, and then we would kind of record them. So yeah, that took a while, but we got there in the end.
How has listening to those records affected what you've been listening to as you move around the country on tour? Who has control over those sounds?
Ooh, Robbie. And yeah, when Robbie does quite a lot of driving, so I feel like Robbie.
Yeah, that's fair
It
enough.
varies, yeah.
But I'm trying to think, what do we listen to in the van?
Blink 182.
Oh yeah, Blink 182. We all really liked MJ Lenderman, so we listened to a lot of MJ Lenderman.
Was in session last night on New Music Fix.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, we love him, and I feel like what's that song I really like at the moment? Like Chromeo, Fancy Footwork.
Fancy Footwork.
Such a tune. So that's another one.
Okay, that's good, and that keeps you busy. It keeps it keeps you entertained on the road as well.
Absolutely.
We heard Long Range Driver earlier, and there's a change of a lyric in that. A change of the original lyric, because it was going to be "I'm that piece of gum,"
Yes.
and it became "You're that piece of gum," which seems like a big turnaround there.
It's a big turnaround for the books. Yeah. I feel like it's so funny. When I was talking to someone about this the other day, I think you kind of forget, when you're writing songs, they're coming from such a personal place, and sometimes you can be really mean to yourself in songs, and it takes other people around you to go, Katie, you need to be empowering yourself, not telling yourself you're a piece of gum on someone's shoe. And I was like, you're so right. So yeah, it's very therapeutic. My brain is doing very well after that.
Okay, fantastic. And you're going to play two more tunes for us now.
Yes.
And the first of these is, the Constant is, I know it's not the centrepiece of the record in terms of the timings of the record, the sequencing, but it seems to be the song which sort of sits in the middle of it. Is that fair to say?
Yes, definitely. And it's
Okay.
one of my favourites, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Yes,
Here we go
I
then.
think so.